And hello again, and here we are for part 2 of my new project, my so-called project Deja Vu. And since part 1, things are moving ahead quite well. As you can see now, I've just loosely fitted the swing arm. This is from an XJR 1300 to the frame, and the width is fine, and we should be all good there. I've also bought and fitted this. This is a standard plastic mudguard, sort of rear part of the rear mudguard. So next I've got to make the rear bit of the rear mudguard, which will be more of a splash guard come number plate mount, and therefore I've got to do a bit of CAD, a bit of cardboard eddy design, and let's see, it'll go something like this, and then this bit will go down. So I'll probably get that made in mild steel rather than stainless steel, because all this is going to get powder coated black anyway, so there's no point making it in stainless steel. Next thing is, I've now got the rear sets made from Jeff. My mate Jeff's made these. Pretty close copy to the ones I've already got on my GPZ. And they fit fine. I'm just going to test fit, everything's fine. What I do need to do though is to get some small spacers to move these rear sets away from the frame by about 10 or 15 millimeters, because otherwise they'll hit the frame. So that's something I've got to do that I forgot to ask him to do when we made them up. In terms of the frame then, I've also got to now knock out the old races here and prepare to fit the new ones. Now normally I wouldn't fit the new races until the frame's been powder coated, but in this instance I really want to fit the races because I want to test fit the yokes from the Z900RS that I've got, because I've got to make and weld on some new lock stops so that those yokes work well with this old frame. So that's why I've got to do that. The other thing that I've been doing recently is I've been weighing everything. I mean, I did say in part 1 I want to make this thing as light as possible, so I may as well start off by working out how heavy the major parts are on this bike. So I've now weighed the frame, the wheels, the swing arm, the rear sets, the forks, the yokes, everything. So I won't bore you by showing you all that. I did film it all, but it's all a bit boring. So I'll just put up now the scores on the doors, as it were, of how heavy these various parts are. And I think from what I've weighed so far and from what I know about the weights of other parts, such as the engine and tyres and chains and that sort of thing, I think we should be well on the way to building a bike that's less than 400 pounds. Quite a lot less actually, which will be maybe 180 kilos or less, which I think is quite a good improvement on the standard bike, which, as I say, was 485 pounds on spoke wheels and 510 on the old mag wheels, which by the way must have been made out of lead because it was so heavy back in the day, back in the 70s. So yeah, that's what's happening at the moment. So I need to go around the corner in a minute on this farm that we're on, where my unit is, and get Jeff the welder to make this thing up for me, as I say, in mild steel when he's got the time. Oh, and by the way, because I was asked about this, the farm I'm on is quite an old farm, and this is quite an old building, and it used to be a pigsty back in the day, and further on down I think it was for the horses, and the deeds of this farm are from 1775. So my little unit here, my little pigsty here, was built in 1775. No doubt it's been changed quite a lot over the years, it's probably been rebuilt a dozen times, but nevertheless it's from 1775. Just a little bit older than America, which is quite impressive. So anyway, yeah, that's what we're doing right now. So I'm going to go off now and drink some tea, and then later on we'll hopefully get this made in mild steel and get it bolted on the frame. And so here's that cardboard template, and here's the real thing. I think it's made from 16 gauge mild steel, so it ain't going anywhere. So this will be probably powder coated or maybe painted at some point in the future. But first I've got to make another bracket which will come off here to hold the rear lamp. I can't do that yet because I'm still waiting for the tailpiece to arrive that I've ordered from eBay. There we go. There's one all race gone. That wasn't too bad. Now I've got to knock out the lower one using this old bit of metal I found from somewhere. Just work your way around the edge, hitting it in one spot too much. This one doesn't seem to want to move. Just hit it harder. And so now we've got the new races to fit. I won't hammer them in, I'm just going to use a threaded bar and just gently press them in. Right, it's just starting. So now, get a spanner on that and we should be good. And we just gently tighten this up and hopefully the race will gently be seated in the headstock. Much better than hitting it with a big hammer. Okay, so there's one seated. Now I've got to do the lower race. And so with the new races fitted, I've now fitted the Z900 RS yokes. And as expected, I have no lock stop. So the frame will have to be modified either at the front or at the back here on the headstock to give me the appropriate amount of lock for the yokes. The other thing is, as you might notice, that I've got a gap here at the bottom. That's because I've not yet seated the lower bearing down as far as it should go. And that's because to do that I need to have a special tool. It's like basically a long tube that I can just about go over this stem and then knock down the bearing safely down to its seat. I've got one of them, but it's now in my garage, not here, and so that will have to wait. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And I must say the old bearing races came out okay, except for the bottom one, and that put up a bit of a fight. I had to hit it pretty damn hard to get it out of the frame. But with that done, it was all pretty straightforward. And next, as you can see, I've got the swing arm fitted, this time with the correct pivot bolt and the correct bushes inside the swing arm. However, to fit the swing arm correctly, I did have to lose this pair of stainless steel end covers because they were just a bit too thick. So I'll have to either make some more or get this machine a bit thinner. I mean, these are only about 3mm thick, but it's too much for this swing arm in this frame. Or I could try and find some standard dust covers for a XJR 1300 because I think that would be just about right, because there's not a lot of space in there now. So I guess this frame is a little bit narrower overall than a Z1000A1 frame, which this swing arm and these covers were made for. But you live and learn, so that's not so much of a problem. And next, since it's a nice warm sunny day, I've just given this splash guard 2 coats of Hammerite satin black. Looks pretty good. So I've now got to leave it for about 24 hours and it should be good to go. And now it's the next day and I've got a few more things done. So first of all, I've got this bearing now seated as it should, and so that can go back on the bike. Next, I've got these 2 spacers that are needed to fit the rear sets correctly to the frame, so that's great. I've also just received this, and this is a side stand from a fairly modern, get this right, Kawasaki ZX6R. And the good news is with Kawasaki, they don't like changing things too often. So this top bit here unbolts, and this is the bit that you had for the cutout switch on modern bikes. But if you remove that, what you're left with is a simple side stand that fits straight onto an old Kawasaki Z frame. So that's why I've got it. So that's great news. So they're all the small things that I've received recently in the last day or two, but I've also received one very big thing. And that big thing is this, the engine, or rather this is the top end of the engine, and I picked it up this morning and I'm pretty happy with what I've got. The head's been rebuilt, no problems there. The block has been honed for standard pistons, and there's no breaks and damage to any of the fins, which these days is quite unusual. It's even got new exhaust stubs on there, so that's great news. So that's the good news, but there's also some bad news. And this is the bad news. The rest of the engine, as you can see, it's been suffering from corrosion, and that's because Dave, the owner, didn't have space to keep this engine, the main part of the engine, in his shed. So he moved it outside and wrapped it up in tarpaulin and just left it for about 6 months. And sadly, water's got in there, or condensation has got into the engine. As you can see now, we've got some rust on the conrods, which is never a good sign. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that the rest of the engine is going to be okay, because even though it's been drained of oil, you know, there should be some oil down there just to give it some kind of protection. But all is not lost, because I'm not too concerned about this engine. And the reason why I'm not too concerned about the condition of this engine is because I didn't just buy one engine from Dave, I bought 2 engines. And the second engine is in much better condition, and that's the engine that's going to be going in this bike. And in fact, I didn't just buy an engine, I bought a complete bike. Since last saw him, Dave has decided he wanted to sell up his project. He accepted he would never finish it. He was trying to build a cafe racer out of a Z650 F4, and he's done a lot of work on it. You know, he's done some good work on it. It's got rebuilt wire wheels with stainless steel spokes. It's got lots of new parts for it, lots of polished aluminium and so on. But he just accepts he really can't do much with it now. He's in his 80s. He's not in good health. So I said, yeah, okay, let's do a deal. So he had one number in mind, I had another number in mind, and we met in the middle, and we're both happy, so I think it's quite a fair price. So I shall be bringing all that stuff over here in the next week or so. I also bought literally a shed full of parts, of spares. He doesn't have just one thing for the bike, he's got 2 or 3. I think he's got 3 starter motors and God knows what else. There's just loads of it, so some of that will come in very handy. Now the bike itself, right now, is stripped down, it's on its wheels, it's got no bodywork, no electrics, no handlebars, it had no instrumentation and so on. Which is good news because I have a little problem with that bike, which is how on earth do I get it from his house to here? I can't push it, I have no transport, so my idea is we're going to push it from his house to Jeff's house, which is just round the corner, and then on his drive, on one day, I'm going to take it all apart. I'm going to take the engine out, take the wheels off, take the forks off, strip it all right down, so then I can take the big lumps in my car, one by one. I'll ferry the parts back and two from Jeff's house to here, and then just leave it in a corner. I don't have to worry about rebuilding it, because it's in bits anyway, pretty much. So I'll just stick it all in the corner, and forget about it for however long it takes for me to finish all my other projects. Well, I said that about this one, so who knows what's going to happen with that one. I did consider just briefly breaking it and selling off the spares, because that would have, be a fair way of doing things. But I think it's too good to break. As I say, it's got some nice parts on it. It's got a logbook, so why not do something with it? I have no idea what I'm going to do with it in the future, but no doubt by the time I'm at the point where I can start work on it, then I would have a clear idea of what I want to do. Yes, that's about it for this week. It's been quite busy. We have got a lot done, and in the next video, hopefully we'll have the bike on its wheels, forks on, engine in, hopefully, assuming it turns over okay. Then we'll just fit it in just to see how it looks. The only slight problem with that engine is, and it's only a small thing, is that the 650 engines come in 2 finishes, black or silver, and this engine I'm going to use is silver. Now I really wanted to have an all black bike, so having a silver engine isn't ideal, but then again, the cost and time of taking an engine apart and getting the cases blasted and recoated to black is just excessive. It's going to be like maybe £1,000 to do that, when you include the extra cost of everything really, the gasket sets, the cost of blasting, the cost of the high-tech coatings that I want to apply. So that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We might do it with this one, but not that engine. So it's going to have a silver engine. I may though just take the head off and take the barrels off and have the barrels finished black, because I quite like that contrast. But we'll see. We'll see when I get the engine here. So that's about it for now. As I say, next week, or in a week or two, we'll have the engine in, we'll have the wheels on, the forks on, and it should be looking like a motorbike, who knows. So that's it for now. So thanks for watching, and cheers.